Kurt Vogel Russell is an American actor. He began acting on television at the age of 12 in the Western series The Travels of Jamie McPheeters. In the late 1960s, he signed a 10-year contract with the Walt Disney Company, where, according to Robert Osborne, he became the studio's top star of the 1970s.
Russell was nominated for a Golden Globe Award for Best Supporting Actor Motion Picture for his performance in Silkwood. In the 1980s, he starred in several films directed by John Carpenter, including anti-hero roles such as Army hero turned robber Snake Plissken in the futuristic action film Escape from New York, and its sequel Escape from L.A., Tango and Cash, helicopter pilot R.J. McCready in the remake of the horror film The Thing, and truck driver Jack Burton in the dark kung fu comedy action film Big Trouble in Little China, all of which have since become cult films. He was nominated for an Emmy Award for the television film Elvis, also directed by Carpenter.
Russell starred in other films, including Overboard, Backdraft Tombstone, Stargate, Sky High Death Proof, The Hateful Eight, Guardians of the Galaxy Vol. 2 and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He also appeared in the Fast and the Furious franchise, having starred in Furious 7 and The Fate of the Furious.
Born in Springfield, Massachusetts, Russell is the son of actor Bing Russell and dancer Louise Julia Russell. He has 3 sisters, Jill, Jamie and Jody. Russell played Little League Baseball throughout his grade school years and also on his high school baseball teams. He graduated from Thousand Oaks High School in 1969. His father, Bing, played professional baseball. His sister, Jill, is the mother of baseball player Matt Franco. From 1969 to 1975, Russell served in the California Air National Guard and belonged to the 146th Tactical Airlift Wing, then based in Van Nuys.
Russell made his film debut for an uncredited part in Elvis Presley's It Happened at the World's Fair. On April 24, 1963, Russell guest starred in the ABC series Our Man Higgins, starring Stanley Holloway as an English butler in An American Family.
Later, he played the title role in the ABC Western series The Travels of Jamie McPheeters. The show was based on Robert Louis Taylor's eponymous novel, which won the Pulitzer Prize for Fiction in 1959. In 1964, Russell guest starred in Nemesis, an episode of the popular ABC series The Fugitive, in which, as the son of Police Lieutenant Philip Gerard, he is unintentionally kidnapped by his father's quarry, Dr. Richard Kimball. In NBC's The Virginian, he played the mistaken orphan whose father was an outlaw played by Rory Calhoun, who was still alive and recently released from prison looking for his son. Russell played a similar role as a kid named Packy Curlin in the 1964 episode Blue Heaven for the Western series Gunsmoke.
At age 13, Russell played the role of Jungle Boy on an episode of CBS's Gilligan's Island, which aired on February 6, 1965. In the storyline, he works for an outlaw gang, but the Rangers take him under their wing, and the boy proves helpful when gunslingers try to occupy Laredo, Texas.
In 1966, Walt Disney wrote Kurt Russell on a piece of paper as his final words. In January 1967, Russell played Private Willie Prentice in the episode Willie and the Yank. The Mosby Raiders in Walt Disney's Wonderful World of Color. While filming the Sherman Brothers theatrical film musical The One and Only, Genuine, Original Family Band, Russell met his future partner Goldie Hawn. Later, he, J.C. Flippin and Tom Tryon appeared in the episode Charade of Justice of the NBC Western series The Road West, starring Barry Sullivan. In a March 1966 episode of CBS's Lost in Space entitled The Challenge, he played Quano, the son of a planetary ruler, and Edward's son Whitey in Follow Me, Boys.
In 1971, he co-starred as a young robber released from jail, alongside James Stewart in Fool's Parade. Later, he guest starred in an episode of Room 222 as an idealistic high school student who assumed the costumed identity of Paul Revere to warn of the dangers of pollution. In 1966, Russell was signed to a 10-year contract with the Walt Disney Company, where he became, according to Robert Osborne, the studio's top star of the 70s. Later, he starred in the one and only, Genuine, Original Family Band in the Computer Wore Tennis Shoes, the latter of which spawned 2 sequels. Now You See Him, Now You Don't and The Strongest Man in the World.
Russell, like his father, had a baseball career. In the early 1970s, Russell was a switch-hitting second baseman for the California Angels minor league affiliates, the Bend Rainbows, and Walla Walla Islanders in the short-season Class A short-season Northwest League, then moved up to Class AA in 1973 with the El Paso Sun Kings of the Texas League.
While in the field turning the pivot of a double play early in the season, the incoming runner at second base collided with him and tore the rotator cuff in Russell's right shoulder. He did not return to El Paso, but was a designated hitter for the independent Portland Mavericks back in the Northwest League late in their short season. The team was owned by his father, and he had been doing promotional work for them in the interim. The injury forced his retirement from baseball in 1973 and led to his return to acting.
In the autumn of 1974, he appeared in the ABC series The New Land, inspired by the 1972 Swedish film of the same name. Critically acclaimed, it suffered very low ratings and only aired 6 of the 13 episodes. In 1976, Russell appeared with Tim Matheson in the 15-episode NBC series The Quest. In 1980, Russell was nominated for an Emmy Award for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Limited Series or a special for the made-for-television film Elvis.
During the 1980s, Russell teamed with Carpenter several times, helping create some of his best-known roles, usually as anti-heroes, including the infamous Snake Plissken of Escape from New York and its sequel, Escape from L.A. Among their collaborations was The Thing, based upon the short story Who Goes There? By John W. Campbell Jr., which had been interpreted on film before, albeit loosely, in 1951's The Thing from Another World. In 1986, Russell played a truck driver caught in an ancient Chinese war in Big Trouble in Little China, which was a financial failure like The Thing, and has since gained a cult audience. He was nominated for the Golden Globe Award for Best Supporting Actor Motion Picture for his performance in Silkwood.
Russell played Lieutenant Stephen Bull McCaffrey in Backdraft, Wyatt Earp in Tombstone, and Colonel Jack O'Neill in the military science fiction film Stargate. His portrayal of U.S. Olympic hockey coach Herb Brooks in the 2004 film Miracle won the praise of critics. In many ways, wrote Claudia Pugh of USA Today, Miracle belongs to Kurt Russell. Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times wrote, Russell does real acting here. Elvis Mitchell of the New York Times wrote, Mr. Russell's cagey and remote performance gives Miracle its few breezes of fresh air.
In 2006, Russell claimed in one interview that he had ghost-directed the hit 1993 Western film Tombstone on behalf of credited director George P. Cosmatos, saying he gave Cosmatos shot lists. Russell claimed Sylvester Stallone recommended Cosmatos to him after the removal of the first director, writer Kevin Jarre, but Cosmatos had also worked with Tombstone executive producer Andrew G. Vajna before on Rambo. First Blood Part 2. Russell said he promised Cosmatos he would keep it a secret as long as Cosmatos was alive. Cosmatos died in April 2005. Russell said he didn't get a chance to edit his version, but Vajna gave him a tape of everything on the movie and that he might try to reconstruct the movie, although he would need to go back to the script and all his notes.
Russell played the villainous stuntman Mike in Quentin Tarantino's segment Death Proof of the film Grindhouse. After a remake of Escape from New York was announced, Russell was reportedly upset with Gerard Butler for playing his signature character, Snake Plissken, as he believed the character was quintessentially American.
Russell appeared in The Battered Bastards of Baseball, a documentary about his father and the Portland Mavericks, which debuted at the Sundance Film Festival in 2014. He co-starred in the action thriller Furious 7 in 2015.
On May 4, 2017, Russell and Goldie Hawn received stars in a double star ceremony on the Hollywood Walk of Fame for their achievements in motion pictures, located at 6201 Hollywood Boulevard.
Russell married actress Susan Hubley, whom he met while filming Elvis in 1979, and had a son, Boston. After his divorce from Hubley in 1983, Russell began his relationship with Goldie Hawn and appeared alongside her in Swing Shift and Overboard, having previously appeared with her in the one and only, genuine, original Family Band in 1968. They have a son, Wyatt Russell, and own homes in Vancouver, British Columbia, Snowmass Village, Colorado, Manhattan, New York, Brentwood and Palm Desert, California. Hawn's daughter with Bill Hudson, actress Kate Hudson, considers Russell to be her father.
Russell is a libertarian. In 1996, he was quoted in the Toronto Sun saying, I was brought up as a Republican, but when I realized that at the end of the day there wasn't much difference between a Democrat and Republican, I became a libertarian." In February 2003, Russell and Hawn moved to Vancouver, British Columbia, so that their son could play hockey.
Russell is a hunter and a staunch supporter of gun rights, and said that gun control will not reduce terrorism. He is also an FAA-licensed private pilot holding single multi-engine and instrument ratings, and is an honorary council member of the humanitarian aviation organization Wings of Hope.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.